I surrender to the canvas. I try to disconnect myself from my brain, and I try to, when I'm painting, be as authentic with my emotions as I possibly can. If you're an artist, you have a responsibility to talk to the times in which you're living. I'm speaking to a moment in this time. I'm speaking to a feeling, a personal feeling. I'm speaking to a human aspect. My name is Sage Gallen, and I am an artist. What makes most people successful, I think, are people who live their purpose. And it translates to everything. I don't expect to be rich. One, my artwork isn't by me, it's through me. And two, more importantly, my artwork isn't necessarily for me. We live in a world which requires money. So much stuff in my head. You know, that's why I can't sleep more than 4 hours at a time. Because then my head's just like, but then it's okay. Because you know that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. My work is a collage of everything that I've experienced, everything that I've seen, everything that I've felt. I do paint pieces where I talk about black men being murdered or people being lynched. I do pieces of like Marilyn Monroe in the pop art scene. I don't purposely go out and say, well, I'm going to paint something Afrocentric or political. The thing about Afrocentric or whatever, what I find interesting with that particular phrase is that no one ever said to Norman Rockwell, you paint really white things. Your work is really ethnic. It shouldn't be separate. It shouldn't be something other, because I'm not something separate. I'm not something other. And I think fundamentally, art is supposed to reflect our times. I'm an artist. That's what I do. You know, I'm supposed to speak on things that affect me. I love Jean-Michel Basquiat's work. More than his work, I love his story. You look at someone like Jean-Michel, who was like pretty much a graffiti artist, broke as hell, kid on the street. And I think he battled against that. You know, they were calling him primal or guttural or, you know, all of these, you know, dog whistle words. And, you know, we still have that today. We still have that division. What I find interesting with his Untitled painting selling for $110.5 million, so now they removed the moniker of black artist from his name. Now he's the highest selling American artist. And I find that to be profound.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired!
I'm an elderly woman. Let me talk. Quiet.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the pussy.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know. How am I doing? Am I doing okay? I'm president. Hey, I'm president. Can you believe it, right?
We have a Donald Trump in office because we have a vacuous system that hasn't really lived up to the ideals of who we can be as a people. I think that art is instrumental in that variation, that transformation, that realization. I mean, if you look back at the soundtrack of your life, you could be very specific in that song that made you cry, that movie that affected your life. That's art. Art doesn't speak to the dollar as much as it speaks to the heart. That's what art speaks to. It whispers to the eyes, but it screams at the heart. I could change my thinking with my mind, but my position doesn't alter unless it's through my heart. And when my position alters, guess what? Then my perception changes. When my perception changes, then my reality is shifting. And that's all this is. That's all this is.